Hi, welcome to my webinar in partnership with APMG International. It's a pleasure to be here to share about one of my latest projects, which is the Harvard Business Review Project Management Handbook. Just a bit of backstory. I had published two books in 2019 and I said never again. I need a big break for publishing books. Maybe it takes a lot of time, research. It's a big commitment, and suddenly I get a message from HBR, and they say, listen, Antonio, our HBR Project Management Handbook is about 7 to 8 years old. Can you refresh it? We see project management something becoming very relevant, and we want to be present. We want to provide something. So it was a tough choice to say yes. I embark in this new project, another book just after finishing a couple, but I could not say no. Who can say no to HBR, right? Especially when you have kind of my purpose, which is making sure that everybody can do their projects better. Whatever you are, if you're a project manager, great. If not, as well, if you're an executive, even better, because you are a key player making project success. So I'm just going to briefly share with you some of the concepts that I treat and make it hopefully exciting for you to get a copy of the book, get in touch with us, with me, with APMG International, with HBR, because I think the world is looking very, very positive for us. If you look at the chart, we're moving from a world driven by efficiency, which is about the last 80 years, where we were really focused on how can we do things cheaper, faster, more volumes, and we were organized for that. We were really working in organizational structures and cultures where it's command and control, very deep expertise in marketing, finance, operations, and that has radically changed. Is radically changing as we speak, because with the introduction of robots and artificial intelligence, that operational part in many businesses are disappearing. So most of the resources are shifting, and I'm working in project-based work, project-based activities. Sometimes it's agile, sometimes are projects, sometimes are just self-managed team, but this is the future of work, and it's very exciting. This is what I call the project economy, and where everybody, not just project managers, will need to do much more projects. They will need to be working in project-based instead of hierarchies that we all know tend to lead to silos. Here, no, this is more about team players working together in very flat organizations. And just a small news that's coming up in November, HBR Printed Magazine, which is really the biggest trendsetter on what comes next around leadership and management, is publishing an article with me, or is publishing my article, where we see there the project economy has arrived. So I think just going to make the splash even bigger, and the opportunities for everybody to thrive in this new world driven by change are huge. I strongly believe that we can all be successful. So this is what I call driven by change. Is a very different game. This is a bit too technical, maybe too detailed, but just saying that we're coming from a world where you had to have some elements around your organization, like culture, very much command, control, discipline, or at the bottom of the slide you can see structure, very hierarchical. This type of structures doesn't work in a world driven by change. We need much more agile teams, flat organizations. We need a culture which flourish entrepreneurship and collaboration. So it's a black and white kind of situation where companies are struggling. Do we do more of the efficiency side? Do we keep what we were doing? Or do we kind of disrupt what we're doing in our business model? So we are in that situation, and I think what you will see coming forward in most of organizations, really shifting to the elements we're driven by change, where we're looking also at different type of skill sets. We've been building technical expertise. This is what we call deep expertise for 80 years. Business schools, universities, that's what we've been building and training to a model where we need different type of skills. This is what we call deep generalists, people who can take an idea and carry it on and make a project, a product, and then sell it. I'm going to explain about that a bit later. This is, for me, one of the key elements of the book. We have heard so many times, I'm coming from the project management world, And so many times that is either agile approach, agile methodologies, or traditional waterfall. And there was a conflict, there was a friction. It was one or the other, polarization. And this I realize now when I started to write this book is this is so wrong. It's not agile or waterfall, it's the two. Companies to succeed in this world driven by change need all these tools, competencies, methods to be successful. So I just want to send a message that yes, let's embrace Agile, it's great. Let's embrace project management, it's great, and build around that and build continuous improvement, lean startup, and many other things, which is great. There's nothing more exciting than learning more and getting better at many things, right? So another big part, probably the biggest part of the book is the project canvas. I really got inspired by two now good friends, Alex Osterwald and Yves Pignon. They developed the business model canvas. So maybe you've heard about that. Maybe you've used it, but it's so simple. It's just in one page. That's why they call it canvas. You can look at all the elements around a business model, and you can have good discussions with the team. They don't need to be experts in business model to have a good discussion on how do you see your future. And that was very frustrating for me, because when I tried to explain project management, there was no way. It just was very complicated. We had KPIs, but I felt like we had something there. There was a gap for letting people become more comfortable, more knowledgeable about what are the fundamentals of project management. And what you see there at the bottom is my version 1. I wrote this for an earlier book, The Project Revolution. And it has 14 components. And when I show my first draft to Alex and Yves, they say, Antonio, we have 9 components in a business model. You have 14 in your canvas. How is that possible that the project is more complicated than a business model? That doesn't make sense. So that really triggered me to think further, to also ask them for advice. How can I simplify? And what you see here is the centerpiece of this new book, the HBR Project Management Handbook. So simplified version so that anybody can use it. Anybody can discuss around the fundamentals of a project. How do we want the project to look like and be developed? A big part always in my canvas, the first one, second, is the purpose of a project. I think we forget often about the purpose. Why do we do the project? Why? It's not just the business case, important, but that does engage the people. So we need to do more about thinking of the why of your projects, and with that you will be more successful. So this is, I hope that you can enjoy using this, because it's simple but powerful, because it gets everybody in line. The other big disruption, this is not just on the book, but what I think the project management profession is going through, needs to go through severe change, big disruption. I've tried to reinvent it. I'm not sure I'm the only one. I think there's quite a lot of people trying to think about how can we do projects better. But this is fundamental change for me. The project life cycle, we always heard about this in this world of projects. What happens in initiation, what you see there in the gray area, is not part of our job. We only focus on the white part. What happens after the project, the run of what we build, is not our problem, is not our job. And then the benefits, we don't really talk about it much. And it's not part of our core areas of focus. That was the past. This is 40 years of methods of looking at projects. The new one is completely different, which is, I think, great. Again, more opportunities to get better. I think project managers, and for that I talk not just the project management people, but the agile people, the strategy implementation people, managers, anybody who can implement strategy should be an expert, should learn about what happens in innovation, design thinking. Our current scope of work, the white part, is going to shrink drastically. So I say we're going to get to about 20% of what we do today is going to remain, because we'll have technologies to do that and artificial intelligence. And then we need to start focusing on what happens after the project, and maybe run what we build, run the organization that we've created. Why not? And then a big shift is on the benefits. That's what matters for your stakeholders. Benefits is not always return investment. It can be sustainability, diversity, social impact, but that's where we need to focus all the time in our projects and accelerate. Companies, organizations, the world cannot wait 4-5 years to start getting benefits from projects. We need to deliver them faster. So great opportunities. And I'm coming to the end, but I want to talk about my view of how we need to evolve. And again, this is not just purely for project managers, this is for everyone. Everybody wants to succeed. So the traditional view of generalists, which is more the type of project managers we've seen so far, we're focused on one methodology, project or program or agile, and then very narrow view on that project life cycle. The shift is radical. The opportunities to learn and get better is huge. So as you can see, I recommend that I actually do that, because companies are looking for this type of persons and professionals. Learn about agile project management and other methodologies, and also develop as a leader, understand innovation, design thinking, and have that end-to-end picture of your projects towards benefit realization. So that's kind of also what we have partnered together with APMG International, with the Strategy Implementation Institute, to develop strategy implementation professionals. This is all aligned with the vision of the book. And it's not just me who thinks like this. I've been inspired by many friends and experts around the world. Camille Ross and Milvio from Asia, and Alan Mulally, the ex-CEO of Boeing and Ford, Rita McGrath and Dory Clark. There's amazing people who are really thinking in this direction, where they see the world as opportunities, and we can develop to do better things. And if you want to find out more about me, website, I have a LinkedIn newsletter that you can subscribe every week. There's a new topic. Of course, have a look at the book, and hopefully you get a copy, and visit us in the Strategy Implementation Institute. With that, I just want to thank you for your attention. Really very exciting times for all of us. If we do the right things, we can have a big impact, not just in our organizations, but making a better world. So I look forward to getting your feedback. So please share. Do you agree? Do you see these trends happening? Or do you have a different view? You maybe have something that is valid and can make us better. And the last thing I want to share is we're going to organize with APMG International coffee and celebration, getting together for the book launch. You'll see the details, the date, the link, where to subscribe at the bottom of this video. So I look forward really to see you there and have a celebration. We need to celebrate more. This is a key part to my vision of the world. So I really hope to see you then. I really hope to get your feedback and comments and ideas. Thank you very much. Take care and see you soon.